You're welcome for the link. Now, I will not be able to type a lot on here because I'm using my phone, because that's the only way it would allow me to have a guest. You're welcome for the link. Now, whoa. I can hear myself. Because that's the only way it would allow me. There we go. All right. So I'm hoping it tells me when Amber comes in, because it just went full screen for me. So I'm not sure I know how to do this. So I am trying. Hopefully when Amber gets here, it'll let me know. But just as I was about to go live, this one here decided he wanted to tap on my foot and get my attention. So I don't know what he wants. If you got to go out, honey, you got to wait. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you for subscribing to Amber's. I was watching a few more of her videos this morning, so that's cool. Yeah, I hope it tells. I don't know. This is my first time. So Amber, if you're here and I don't see you, put something in the chat maybe to let me know that you're here, and just in case I can't see you. So I'm looking. Anyway, yeah, little Fritzy, here he is. So, good morning, Debbie. Good. I love you too. So you'll all be very proud of Fritzy. He actually let me trim his nails. Well, most of them this morning. Look at his face. Isn't he ridiculous? He is ridiculous. So Karen, I have a surprise for you. I'm putting it in the mail today. So keep an eye out for your mail. Well, good. But I don't know. I hope it tells me when she's here. So I'm nervous. Obviously, it's my first time with a guest, so I have no idea. Anyway, Fritzy, you're going to have to wait. So I can't do a full hour today. I'm going to have to do like 50 minutes because I have to get to my daughter's house by 10 a.m., which is, her house is a half hour away. So Fritzy, what do you, okay. All right. So her house is a half hour away and I have to get there by 10. So I have to leave here just before 9:30. I got to go to her house to meet the plumber. Poor kid. Her sink's all stopped up and her dishwasher's not working. And anyway, while I wait for Amber, I'm checking. So if you see me looking over here, I have my computer over here. While I'm waiting, I want to show you guys a prototype I'm working on. So I showed you that can koozie mitten that I made. So I'm trying to make another one now. Good morning, Kimberly. I'm trying to make it on my Addy. So this is my prototype. Already I'm going to make it shorter. And I'm going to do something different on the bottom. I'm going to open up the bottom and make it a little rounder. So that's that. I want to hit a button and see if, nope, that's not it. What's this? Am I adding the guest? Is she here? No. All right. I'm just making sure. I want to make sure I have everything in place. Hopefully it'll tell me when she gets here. Anyway, so this is made on my, okay, honey. So, yeah, me too. All right. So let's do this. Okay. Add guest. So copy link. Now, what if how do I chat in here? You guys, I'm so sorry. It won't let me chat on my own, I guess. We'll figure it out somehow. Did you click on the link that I sent you in your email? That should help you. There we are. Yay.
Yay.
Here we are. We did it. Oh my goodness. I can't even.
The first couple times I kept trying to hit the go, that link you sent me, it kept it tried to start my own stream. I'm like, no.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you're here. Good morning. And
I'm here.
How are the Mm-hmm.
Nobody's awake yet. I'm the only one awake.
Sorry about that.
No,
So I was just showing, I'm trying to do a prototype. I had crocheted a hand koozie mitten. So
I was noticing that.
I'm trying to recreate it on the Addy machine. So
Oh,
this
that's fun.
first one I did already. I want to make it shorter. I want to make the bottom better. So I'm working on the second one. So
Is that the yarn?
it is. It's the exact same yarn. That's too funny. Loops and threads, yeah?
No, mine is Big Twist.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Big twist.
I was
So
actually gonna make a hat with these two on my Addy machine today. So
pretty.
that's funny.
This screams summer all day long. Screams it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Welcome. You are my first guest ever. Fritzy just left, or he would have been here to say hi to you. Now he's coughing. What are you eating? You know. So welcome. I was watching some of your videos this morning, and I absolutely love Thankful Thursdays. I think that's really cool. Would you go get a drink, for goodness sakes? You're gonna hear. He goes, I'm sorry. So the Thankful Thursdays, what made you start that? What kind? Because I literally went back to like your first videos and I watched your first one, and it almost actually brought me to tears because I've
So K&K Crochets has been doing that, and I'm sure they got it from somewhere else too. But I just was like, it gave me something to bounce off of, to give something like for one of my days. I have something set for one of my days to like at least have something content wise to put out.
it gets
So
it gets tough to think of something to do like coffee with Kim. I've kind of turned into just a bunch of friends hanging out.
yeah,
So I don't always have to have something to talk about. I do luck out that my life in general turns into chaos. So I do have stuff to talk about. So good morning, Nick. Welcome.
I'm I'm trying
Um,
to figure out why my lighting is so bad. Like I look shadowed on here. I don't know why.
maybe because mine is
Weird.
just so silly bright. I have like light here, light here, light here, because this room is almost like a dungeon when I'm
I
in here.
have the same lights on I have when when I did my live yesterday and when I record videos. So it's like, why am I not lit up?
Well, because you know what? Your room is asleep. It's like, no, I don't want to be up yet.
I guess.
I'm too tired. So I had asked a while back all of my subscribers to send me an email saying, what started your crafting journey? How did you get into crafting? What made you not only pick up a crochet hook, but any other kind of crafting that you do? What prompted you to start that? And I know, I'm sorry, you just put a bite of your sandwich. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Good morning. So, Amber, my sister Linda is here. So, good morning.
Hello, Sister Linda.
Uh, like, started you on this whole journey of crafting in general?
Well, my husband and I were military. Well, he was military, I was the wife. But I didn't really have a job or anything, so just kept finding stuff to do. With crocheting in particular, a friend of mine, one of the military wives, decided she wanted to learn, and I was like, I kind of want to do this with you, so I have somebody to do it with.
Nice.
And so I just started picking up books and the very little YouTube that was around then. I tried to use that to help me visualize what I needed to learn. But crafting wise, I'm a lot like you. I go, oh hey, scrapbooking. What is that? Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna try that now.
Yeah, and if you're anything like me, you jump right in. It's like I
Oh
have to
yeah.
have all the stuff. I
Oh
can't get
yeah.
little.
Mm-hmm.
No, I go crazy. Just like
Yep.
the crafting we did last night. I have to have all the plastic and all the yarn, and it is what it is. I have
Yep.
an obsessive. Is that what it is? An obsessive or over creative? I don't know what it is, but I always
Yeah.
go off the deep
Yep.
end.
Yep.
So do you?
Yeah, I want to make stitch markers, and I am buying the crud out of supplies for it right now. So it's like I need to actually start doing it.
Yeah, yeah. I have a drawer right here with. You ready for this? If I can get this out, stitch markers. pieces and parts of ones I've already made, ones I want to make. So this, yep, that's a thing. I have them in there. But can I ever find a stitch marker when I need one? No, of course not.
That's
So
funny.
what made you turn on the camera and start a channel? What was that I'm going to do this moment?
I don't know, I just was following Juan, and it was fun, Juan the Yarn Addict, and so, like, I just enjoyed watching him, and I kinda wanted to I had always wanted to share my journey with something, with some like you, like, with one of my million crafts, right? Well, before
Million is a good
so
number.
it says I joined YouTube, whether it be a subscriber, I don't know, user in 2014. So I've had my account since then, but I didn't actually start this channel until April 1st of this year. So, trying to think here. No, I just was watching him and I was like, I don't know, I kind of want to do this and see how it goes. But also, yeah, I just in the beginning, it was a little bit scary and it still is scary because, there's still drama out there, but like it seems like it's kind of settling down.
Right.
And so I was just getting a little nervous in the beginning going, "Oh, what I get into?"
Right.
So,
Right. I
but
remove myself from any of the drama. Um, so I watch Juan, of course, and I watch Crystal. Um, but as far as I do a lot of tutorials instead of lives and stuff like that because I don't want the drama.
yeah.
Like the other night in the auction, there was even some, which I felt bad because people were giving Crystal a hard time because she ended one of the bids and they were like, no, wait, I'm not done. And she's like, but I said it was done. Come on.
Mm,
They need to relax. Just because we're in front of the camera and we're on YouTube, it doesn't mean we're not just people hanging out talking to people.
mhm. Yeah.
So I everybody that knows me knows I don't put up with or tolerate drama. I just want to be me. And
Yeah.
that when people are talking about, well, Juan's doing this and Crystal's doing that and this, I miss a lot of it because I'm focused on here and doing this. And then I go back and I'm like, wait, let
Yeah.
me what's going on. But you're right, it's terrifying at first. And it's funny. I don't know if you ever do this, but do you ever go back and watch your first few videos and
Well,
see?
I go back and watch all my videos as long as without YouTube going, "Quit watching all your stuff."
Yeah, yeah. The difference, and I noticed it in your videos just since April, your comfort level is amazing now. It's like, you know what? And you're doing exactly what you should. Just turn on the camera and talk. Now, I have a friend who she does hypnosis and stuff like that, and she wants to start a channel, but she's scared. She's scared to
Yeah.
turn on. She's scared. And I'm like, don't. I said, you don't have to do a live at first, but your first video, don't edit anything. Practice
Mhm.
it on and go, you know? So it's really cool that you took that first initiative and said, I'm turning on this camera. Here I go. Um, how long did it take you to do your first live?
So, the thing is with the going live thing, I used to sell jewelry for
Okay.
a direct sales company, and I did lives with that, and so I was pushing jewelry, right? I mean, I had fun with it because a lot of it was, my close family and stuff just
Right.
there to support me, but they weren't actually, like, buying, so it was like I don't wanna sound, like, selfish or anything, but it wasn't as fun because I was like, "I'm just on here pushing jewelry that nobody's buying?" And so,
Get
it
it.
wasn't really fun, but anyway, I had that exposure already.
Yeah.
So I kinda already have what it feels like to be live kinda thing in front of people. Not necessarily as many people as some out there do,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
at least I had a little bit there, so
Well, my goal is to hit, well, 30 on a live. That's my goal. Um, and that's kind of why I started doing the interviews because I figure I will expose my subs to you and you to mine and this and that so that they can see what we're all about and they can
yeah.
see, yeah, there's the big channels that have the hundreds of thousands subscribers, but
Mhm.
there's also us that are just trying to get the kickstart And hey, Margaret, could you boot off that for me? I can't do it on here. We just have Margaret is like so quick on the computer. If you're do it, could you boot that off or somebody? Um, so yeah, and it's my goal is not to be a million subscriber person, but my goal is to just
Hi,
try.
Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's really cool, and my whole goal is to intermingle all of our audiences. And
Mhm.
thank you, Margaret. And to I'm trying to reach out not only to the crochet community and the yarn community. I'm trying to
Yeah.
go into YouTube, and I'm searching for crafts and stuff like that, because I want people to know that it's not just this wall of yarn behind me. I also
Yeah.
have 2 rooms of God knows what crafts. And that's why I started the craft along with Kim, so we could try all the new things, and it's really fun when new people pop in for that.
I cut out my plastic coasters last night, so I'm gonna work on them today.
I did 2 more. I started 2 more this morning at 4. I started
Yep.
this
Oh, that's really cool looking.
one.
Ooh, cool.
So I'm playing with those, and you know how it is. You and I have similar personalities, to where, like you said, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try this. Here I go.
Mhm.
Size setting machines. I have the Cricut. I had, you know what I mean? So it's,
I have one of those too.
oh my, I love it. And I'm sitting here
But
thinking,
I used to have the Cricut where you use the cartridges
oh, yeah,
before it was like you I had the one before you could attach it to a computer
right, 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 right.
and
Oh,
use things on a
yeah,
computer. And I loved that thing. That thing was awesome. I got rid of it because I wasn't using it and
right,
it was getting it was becoming a dinosaur. It
right.
was.
Outdated. Yep.
Um and then I really, really wanted to get one of like those silhouettes or the not
Yeah.
silhouette. Is it silhouette?
Silhouette. Yep.
The other brand? Okay. I really wanted a die cut machine, and the only way I could convince my husband to spend any more money on crafting things was to get the I have the portrait, Cricut, the small one, or no, silhouette. I have a silhouette,
Okay.
the portrait one. It's like it only does, I think, 8.5 wide, but I think it can do longer. I'm not I can't remember. I
Yeah.
don't use it very much, but it's one of those tools that.
Yeah. I'm looking at mine like, okay. I mean, of course, I bought the machine where I can cut stuff, and then I bought the press where I can make t-shirts, and then I bought the machine where I can make mugs. So I literally now have a wall of Cricut, because it's what I do. What if I want to make mugs? What if I want to have all of the tools at my fingertips, just in
We
case.
have the
And
what if syndrome, that's what we have.
and then
Oh, what if?
so I have the what if, and then the gotta finish. So I'll start something, and I'm like, oh, I need to finish this and get going. That's why I will do smaller things like the towels and the hats and this and that, because I get the gotta finishes and
Yeah.
start something else. My Christmas or my fair blanket is now my nemesis. I keep because I try to do it during my crochet club. I told you I have a crochet club at the library, and
Mhm.
to concentrate on doing that, but I'm also trying to teach people how to crochet. So I lose count. And then, or I'm counting and they're talking to me. So I lose count again. So it's just a matter of how many things can I do at once. And so this fair blanket, I got to get it done. I'm not allowing myself. Yeah, Tina, that's exactly what we do. What if I could try this? What if I could do that? And that's why behind me on the wall, I have the dried flowers, and I have, everything. It's just everything. I have the crafting books and everything like that. So, do you have a video that was or is your most popular or your most favorite one to make?
For, like for that I've put out
Yeah,
or that other channel?
that you've put out.
I think I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure my beanies that I've done, the 2,
Yeah.
are the most popular right now because a lot
Okay.
of people were watching and making them. I guess. I don't know, because 'cause I've had it at least a handful or two of people that I've seen make them. So that's really cool when somebody actually, makes it.
Yeah, so that's why I started the Facebook page, so that people could show me when they're making the things I did. And it's just, you're right. The feeling when someone uses your tutorial, you're like, oh my gosh, it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see how many views you have and this and that, but when somebody
Yeah.
takes time to go with you step by step, it's really cool. And I do love that stitch, by the way. What is it? The double half? The
This one?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is the Twins in a Stitch, actually. So this is the one that I made in honor of Juan. So this is the Giddy Giggle Beanie. Giddy, it's a mouthful. Giddy Giggle Beanie.
Every time you said it in your video, I laughed.
I know.
It's so
And
funny.
so it's just half double crochets here and above it, or no, this is double for the crown. But yeah, twins and half doubles.
I love And you do have a tutorial for that on your
Yep.
channel?
Yep. Yep. The
Uh,
Giddy Giggle Beanie.
I will make sure when I put, because I don't know how to do this on my phone. I will make sure to put a link up there, unless one of you want to grab it for me.
Yeah,
There's
it's and the fact when he showed out, my shoulder just locked up. I was trying
oh,
to itch and it like locked up. Um, when he showed that he made it, I was like, oh, starstruck. Like, oh my gosh, he made it. Like he took the time,
yeah.
which okay, granted, this probably took him all of like 2 seconds to make,
Yeah.
because he was like done,
Yeah. Done. Yeah. Yeah. So you do reference Juan a lot, kind of like I referenced Crystal a lot in the beginning. So is he pretty much who you learn from, or who you learn new stuff from, or do you branch out a lot on your own, looking in books or stuff like that?
When it comes to learning new stitches I've never heard of, it would be him.
Okay.
And others out there, like Hooked by Robin's another one I seem to go to a lot. In the beginning when I first started crocheting, obviously one wasn't around because I
Right,
mean,
right,
he was around, but not on YouTube.
right, right.
Um, I was following, like, Mikey from the Crochet Crowd,
Okay.
Nastasia, um,
I'm writing these down.
Bella Coco, I think. I don't know how long some of these have been around, but there's some of the bigger ones that have been around for a little while now.
Okay.
But Mikey from the Crochet Crowd, he was I remember starting blankets or hats or something with him. So,
Oh,
and he's been around for a while.
yeah. Do you refer to Crystal at all? Do you use Crystal sometimes when you're looking for?
I it's funny because I feel like I haven't heard of her until the last year or so, but, like, I don't my memory's so bad that she very well could have been one of those people that I, like, referenced early on because obviously she's been around for quite a few years, and
I think, yeah.
I just can't remember, like, you know, all the names of people. For some reason, Mikey the Crochet Crowd sticks out more
Hmm.
than hers does, and I
Okay.
just feel like I just recently heard of her in the last year, so I don't
It's
know if it's
really
just
up in the well, in the community that I'm watching, she's really picked up. I reference her all the time. Uh,
yeah.
well, Margaret, sometimes
I
I
know Margaret, I'm the same way now with Mikey, like, he's cool, I'm not bashing him or anything, but, like, yeah, he's a different, cookie, or, whatever you wanna call it, he's just different flavor.
secret yarnery.
Secret
No,
Gar I don't know. I think so it's funny because a lot of names that I'm hearing in the last year are because ever since I started this channel and ever since I started following Juan back in, like, November, December of last year, um, I was hardly ever on YouTube. I mean, I was on it,
right,
every so often, but
right.
now I'm on it, like, all day, every day. So,
I'm
I'm
like,
seeing a lot more things.
and the more you watch, the more it will suggest for you. Uh,
Right.
I watch Crystal because my daughter. I've only been crocheting for 2 years, so my daughter for Mother's Day just gave me a kit because she had said, um, what do you want for Mother's Day? And I hate when she spends money on me. I'm like, oh, but then I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to learn how to crochet. So she gave me the kit and I didn't know what I was doing. So I just went on and searched and she popped up first. So that's
Mhm.
of navigated to Crystal as my go-to. And honestly, I can say anything that I've wanted to learn, she's done it. So,
Oh, yeah.
I try hers first and then you know, Tina, I
Peanut
love
saw what I was eating. I was trying to hide it slowly, you know?
all arts. I went through a phase where I do a box a week. That is not okay. Not okay. So I don't let them in the house anymore. But
Well, I'm a lazy mom. The easier the better when it comes to eat. Like my kids are pretty almost self-sufficient when it comes to feeding themselves breakfast and lunch.
how old are
Except for my youngest, who I still have to, help him a little bit. But oh,
how
I
old
was gonna say something. How long has Crystal been on YouTube? Was it 10 years now?
I think she said 10 years.
Okay, so that may be why, because why she's kind of like newer to me now. I started crocheting 15 plus years ago, and she
Right.
wasn't on YouTube then. So I'm pretty sure Mikey what has been. I don't know when he started,
Right. Yeah.
and honestly, I don't know when YouTube was around when it, was around.
It's just in
Like
my always been there.
it's always been there, so I don't know. I definitely didn't grow up with it when I
Right.
was a kid
Right.
before, 10, 15. But I just don't know
I did
how long it's been.
are different in age.
Yeah,
I was watching Saturday morning cartoons, in my pajamas. So
same.
yeah. Definitely didn't grow up with the internet. Um
Mm.
how do you I know that I have a process when I'm thinking of doing a tutorial like this right here. This will be a tutorial. Um I have to make it, perfect it, and then I'll turn the camera on and I'll make it again while I do the tutorial. How do you prepare for your tutorials?
Well, the this one, the very first one I did, the Giddy Giggle Beanie, got it out the first time.
Yeah.
Um, I literally I don't know what I just decided to make a beanie. And then I was like, I want to make it with Juan's favorite stitches, which is twins in a stitch. So it could be any stitch that's a
Right.
twin, right?
Right.
And half double crochets. And so I just created it using a crown that I had found from another hat, and I I had a friend help me name it, and then I literally just it was a bright pink one that I made, the first one, my prototype, and then I went straight to the tutorial and just started filming it and made this one in the tutorial. So I've only technically made 2 hats so far of this one,
Awesome.
but yeah,
So you
that I mean,
out the kinks first and then do it. Do you have the thing like I have? I do not like making the same thing twice. And that's why I have a hard
I
time with my
think so.
because oh, I made this like I had done a pond shawl. I made up a pond shawl and it's kind of a short poncho, more like a shawl that you wear over your shoulders. And I had made it and then I was like, oh, I got to make another one now for the tutorial. So it's like once I make something, I don't want to make it again. And that's my struggle with do you
Mhm.
mind that or do you mind the repeating and making it again?
It depends, I think, on the pattern or the item. Because blankets, I feel like I can make those all day long, and yes, I'm making different ones, and hats I feel like I can do.
Yep.
Um, maybe certain blankets I don't wanna do again, but,
I'm
like,
finding I don't love blankets. I'll
I don't
just
know, like,
up
it's
in
just always been my thing with blankets. I don't know, I think that's just what I am.
nice.
I like
Yeah,
blankets.
and the blankets just take too long, and I'm like, maybe I'll make a short blanket. Maybe I'll make a smaller blanket.
Well, C2Cs are really quick and easy.
Never done one.
Um, they're fun. the longest part is getting to the corner before you decrease back down.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That's where people get hung up, is they are like, I just want to start decreasing. And so you're just like, ugh, am I ever going to get there?
Do you have a tutorial for the corner to corner?
Well, not technically, but there is a tutorial kind of that I did with these.
Yeah. Same
These
idea.
are mug rugs,
That's
and it's
cool.
made with the C2C pattern with holding 2 strands of cotton together.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I released it maybe 2-ish weeks ago,
Okay. And
I
by the way,
think.
if you haven't checked out Amber's channel yet, I did put the link on there. So go on up, throw some yarn in her window, which is what they call it now when you subscribe. So, and while you're here, what's the other phrase? Leave your DNA with a
Yeah,
thumb. I would
dummies.
appreciate. So yeah, I'm looking for I tried a corner to corner, and I literally got this big, and it looked all wonky, and I'm like, okay, put it away
Well,
for
I mean, this one's, like, kind of sorta wonky to me a little bit.
right.
I don't
It's
know if you can see, like I can see I it's a tiny minor imperfection that I see, but, like, it's right here.
up,
It kinda bows out a little bit, but I
and I
think that's just the nature of the way C2C is done.
yeah,
So and that or I think I was a little tighter when I was doing this part right here, so it just kinda came out a little wonky, which is fine. It's a mug rug. It's not,
right, right. It
like
nobody.
Juan says, "It's for the house.
It's fine. It's
It's
fine.
fine."
Let me see. Do.
Another friend of mine, her name's Marty. She's on the channel called Flossom Crochet.
Okay.
She does this. They have this game that they play, um, where when she goes, it's fine," she has to drink her water. So she
Oh,
goes, well, in her comments, you'll see us going, drink clink, and make her drink her water. So
but yeah, Karen on here, every once in a while, she'll notice I'm stressing out about something. She'll be like, "It's fine. You're fine. We're all fine." We crack up. Fine. What do you find is your most challenging crochet project so far, where you jumped in and you're like, "I'm trying this," and it turned out to be a good challenge for you?
well, let me grab this book real quick without making a mess. Oh, there we go. So I've had this book forever.
You know, I'm
I
gonna.
started this blanket right here. The
Yeah.
only reason I can't show it to you is I don't have it anymore. So I jumped into this. This is Tunisian crochet, these little squares. So I got to learn how to do Tunisian crochet because I decided I want to make this blanket because
Wow.
I'm a very patriotic person. So I wanted a patriotic blanket. And so it I had that blanket sitting in pieces for gosh, probably 10 plus years, maybe 14.
Wow.
And finally I just decided I didn't have the passion to finish it. So I reached out to some friends and I said, "Does anybody want to take this and finish it?" So someone actually took it and finished it for me. So
Awesome.
that one was challenging only in the sense that I feel like it was a big project
Sure.
for a newbie. So,
Sure. Absolutely. You did dive right.
um
Wow.
and then I don't know if you've seen my um what's it called? Alzheimer's dementia awareness throw that I came
Yep.
up with. It's a C2C, but it's a GraphGAN. So I made a picture within the C2C. I used what I had knowledge in my brain to actually make it and I didn't follow any specific like person's pattern. So like I just referenced a couple videos going, well, how are they changing colors to
Yeah.
get and so I drew it out and I made it. So that was a little bit challenging is because it turned out a lot smaller than what I thought it was. So I ended up doing panels. So I made 4 panels so that way I can make it a big enough blanket. So
Smart.
yeah,
Very.
it was challenging in that sense that I was like didn't think it through when I drew it out because I drew it out on grid paper and went, "Ooh,
That's
1 square will equal, whatever on my blanket." Well, I wasn't thinking that the square was only gonna be an inch long or inch big. And so a 25 square by 28 square, cube or whatever, it didn't click in my brain until I started working on it that it was gonna be like, a foot and a half by 2 foot big.
I did something similar with that. I was working, you know how people do the temperature blankets?
Yeah,
I was doing a birthstone blanket. So I was doing the granny square. So each 4 rows I would switch to a different month, their birthstone.
right.
I miscalculated how big it was going to be. I did 4 or 6 rows of each color. By the time I
Yeah.
fly, this thing was huge. And I'm like, I had to stop it. I had to stop it at July. And that's actually the blanket I sent to Crystal for her auction. So I finished it off nicely and I sent it over to her and I put in there on my note that it was supposed to be a calendar blanket and it just got too huge. So
It's a half a year.
it's, I call it because I ended in July and my birthday's August 1st. So I'm like, it's my birthday blanket. It's
There you
stuff
go.
birthday. But
That's
yeah,
funny. Yeah, I haven't tried. I've seen people with the temperature blankets and go, "That would be neat to do," and I kinda would like to do it, but then I very quickly go, "No, I'm good," because they
same.
always turn out giant, and I'm like, but I know there are people that have figured out a way to make them a little bit smaller, but I just feel like I think it's the ones where they make, like, little squares and stuff, I'm like, "No, I don't wanna sew anything together."
No, I don't
No, no,
either.
no.
I don't want, if I'm doing a big granny blanket, it's going to be one big continuous granny square. I'm not, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, no. So I never like the temperature blankets. Excuse me. I don't know the concept of, so is it every single day the temperature? Is that how they do it? Or is it per month or per week? I've never,
I
I've heard of
I
them, but
think they're doing every day, like, some of them, at least this like, they're doing, like, single crochet rows, so, like or at least on some of them, 'em. They'll do, like, whatever the temperature high or whatever I think it's the high for that day. They'll, do it in whatever color for 1 day, and then they'll just keep doing that, and then, like, the granny squares, I think they do single crochets then too, so they can make them small enough, right?
right.
They'll do 1 round per day as it gets bigger, and then it'll be like a square that ends up about,
Yeah.
yay big for the
So
whole month.
I'm no thank you on that. No thank you.
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah.
I'll stick, if I'm doing another one, I'll try to figure out, maybe I'll do little granny squares for each month. Then I would only have 12 and then I could, but then I'd have to sew them together. Nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not
There's
doing
a really neat project I found where it's taking, um, I think it's, C2C, rectangles, but they're gnomes. They're graph cans of gnomes, and they're themed for each month. So you still get your, like, gear blanket, but it's not a temperature blanket.
right,
But
right.
again, they're
So
joining them. But she joins them in a way that's easy enough that I could do it, but it's just all that yarn with those, I'm like, "Nah, I'm good."
sewing it together is very tedious for me. So you mentioned kiddos. How many do you have?
I have 3.
3?
It sounds like I don't know if you noticed me glancing over to the side, but I heard noises, so I think they're out in the living room. They like I said, they're very self-sufficient, so probably
Somebody,
watching TV.
now, how do you balance, like I find, I retired in January and I find that I am constantly running. And then now I got to do YouTube and now I got to do, that's why I started doing live coffee with Kim. It's less editing. It's
Yeah.
less I'm in here recording, editing and putting it out. How do you balance your kiddos and the school and the da 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 with getting your content on and feeling that you're submitting enough?
So, the way I'm doing it right now is I homeschool my kids. So, I
Oh,
have curriculum that allows them to work on their own.
no,
Um, but I'm there to help them, if they have questions. I mean, obviously they can't learn something brand new and, you
right.
know, yeah. Anyway, so Right now, we're kinda taking a break just because I have to order the curriculum for our next school year. We don't really have a next school year, that's why I air quote it.
Right, right.
We're just gonna the reason I'm calling it our next school year is because 'cause I'm starting fresh. We're just kinda putting things away and starting fresh with new. So, like, just yeah, anyway. So my idea to balance it is before they get up in the morning, I try to do the recordings or, like, right now, we're not doing much, so during the day, I'll say, "Okay, go sit, go watch TV, go play, go, keep yourselves occupied for a little bit while I go record this, and I'll come back out and, you know." I do a
Yeah.
lot of my, like, cleaning, housework stuff in the later afternoon, evenings,
Yeah.
and I've always been that way, so it works out with this stuff that I can get this stuff done during the day and
Perfect.
worry
Yeah.
about the rest of it later.
Absolutely. So you're
So
home. Wow. So, whew, I couldn't even imagine. My poor kid would have not made it if I was homeschooling. I can remember during the COVID, um,
yeah.
my builder. So he's building the house, this and that, and the kids all had to be homeschooled. And he looked at me. He goes, "My poor kid's going to be dumb as a brick." He's like, "I can't," because he had no. I mean, he's a guy with hands-on building. He knew stuff about digging holes and making houses. He didn't know math and history. And he's like, "They got to get her back soon, this poor kid." But it's kind of, and I just recently started substitute teaching at my school where I graduated.
Yeah.
Really fun, really, really a fun experience. So I did apply to a local school here for next season. So
Yeah.
I realized that I'd like to teach the little ones. I don't mind teenagers, but no, they're teenagers. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, no, a lot of people see homeschooling as, like, you have to be a teacher to do it, and you really don't because like I said, the curriculum that I use is they've designed it in a way that the child teaches themselves. Like, they learn to teach, to teach them they learn to want to learn,
right,
like,
yeah,
so it's in a biblical way, but, I don't feel like I have all the knowledge in the world either to teach my children, but, like, yeah, it's just I don't know.
yeah, you have the reference. Sorry, something keeps catching my eye. There's a big bird right in the tree out here. I don't mean to keep,
And no,
but
you're fine, and the in life, they're learning through like, my husband, when he's home and he's working on stuff, he's constantly got these kids in his grill going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And so, we'll
and that
have people come to the house and work on the house, and, like, the whole family, all 5 of us, we're out there like, "What are you guys doing?"
that's
So,
cool.
they're always learning.
That's awesome. And that's kind of how it used to be before you'd plump the kids down in front of the TV or whatever. I'm the youngest of six, and my
Mhm,
mother never had a moment to breathe. We were always like, "What's going on? What are you doing?" In the garden, on the tractor, in the barn, wherever it was, we were learning at all
mhm,
times. Life has a lot to do with the learning process, and people don't understand.
mhm.
A piece of
Yeah.
fell and scared Fritzy. Come here. You're so brave.
Just as long as they can, read well and they
Exactly.
have some sense of math.
The basic math, right? Sorry, he pulled my shirt there.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll go far. I think they'll go far in life, you know? Because even at my age, I'm still learning stuff about science. I'm still learning stuff about history. Like that's not going anywhere.
And I find
Because
that the
obviously it's in the past. So
yeah, exactly. I find that the hands-on is really important. So it
mhm.
now just gives you more access to more information. So if used the correct way, it's really, what's the word? A plethora of
And you know what's fun about the science experiments? They're almost crafty.
that was what I was going to ask you. Have you incorporated any sort of craft or art into their learning, or do they just kind of merge to
It,
it anyway? Mom's doing it.
as crafty as I come across, when it actually boils down to it with, like, doing crafts with my kids, I cringe when they do things, like the beads and I'm just like, "Ugh, that's a mess for me to clean up," and so I have a little bit harder time with craft with them. I'm not the mom that can, like, plan the crafts, and be like, "Here, let's do this." So, no,
Yeah.
they're
Like almost like a stigma or something that people think about crocheting that is incorrect.
um, maybe that it's hard or too difficult to learn or something. Because I hear a lot of people go, "Oh, I can't learn that," like, or, "I can't do that," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, no," and, some people's brains may just not connect right. I don't
Right.
know, but it's I guess I've done it so long, for me, it's easy, so
It,
it's but
right. Yeah.
it's like teaching my children to read. Yes, I know how to do it, it's easy to me, but I also have to take a step back and go, "Okay, they don't know how to do it yet, so I
Right.
gotta,
Right. Right.
remember that it's not
Ex-
easy to them."
Exactly.
So, I
Welcome.
don't know, I mean, that it's expensive, maybe not that, I don't know if that's a stigma, but it can get expensive.
Expensive. Absolutely. I one of the things that most people say to me, you're not old enough. You're not old enough to sit and crochet. You're not old enough because they picture it
Hmm,
as grandmother did or something. You know what I mean? So they're
yeah.
only older women with the white hair sitting in the rocking chair are saying, and that's the stigma I come up against with every.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you don't knit and crochet. You're not an old white haired grandmother, but
I
uh,
mean, I guess the only thing I can think of with people is when I say I crochet, they go, "Oh, wow, that's good," or "I don't have time for that," or
yeah,
I don't
or
know.
I'm not crafty that way. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I say this all the time and people, tell me, "Oh, yeah, 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 try to convince me the otherwise." Like, I don't feel like I am artistic enough in like how these people come up with these designs. I'm just like,
yeah,
like when you look at this and I go, how did the person that
yeah,
created the C2C pattern, how did they think of that? Did like
yep, yep.
and so I just, I don't feel like I can think like that. And so I have to follow other people's patterns.
I find that I'll start with someone else's pattern and then I veer off onto my own. And then when I try to redo it, I do my own. Good morning,
Yeah.
Rosalie. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome. Lots of new names here today. This is fun. This is really,
Yeah.
um,
Like Margaret said, crochet is a lot more accepted now that, yeah, like celebrities are wearing crocheted items.
oh yeah, I guess Taylor Swift, someone asked me, Taylor Swift was wearing a dress. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I saw.
But
I actually had to Google it because I heard it's like 2 or 3 times now I've heard this Taylor Swift dress, and I'm
yeah,
like, "Okay,
same.
I'm not a Swiftie.
Me
I
neither.
have nothing against Taylor Swift, but I just don't like."
Not
I'm
my
not saying I don't like her because I don't like her because she's mean or anything. She's not one of the people I like,
ex-
So
well, I
I I actually had to Google, "What's this Taylor Swift dress?"
I into new music somewhere around 1990. So I'm 60s, 70s, 80s. That's it. So I
Yep.
admire Taylor Swift. Her creativity and her talent is amazing, but she's not my type of music. So
No. And I never got into her, so I don't know.
she
And my family were Chiefs fans, and so when she became Kelsey's girlfriend, we were all like, "She doesn't know anything about football and da 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 this," but now we've come to accept her a little bit.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not her fault who she falls in love with, right?
Right.
What is
So,
what is one of the ways that you actually engage your viewers? Do you have them interact with your videos, or how do you actually know that you're engaging your audience
well,
other than of what they make?
I tried in the beginning, and I actually very quickly tapered off because again, my memory's horrible of remembering, and so, like, I'll get done recording the video and go, "Oh, crud, I forgot to ask my question," Like, I try to ask a question towards the end of my videos, so that way, I if they answer that question, I know they made it to the end.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that's
But
cool.
and so I try to ask questions throughout my videos, and so to get answers, and I'm like, I really truly do want answers. When I ask you a question in my videos, like, please, please answer them
Right.
because I'm looking for your opinion.
Now, do you have a Facebook page as well?
I do have a Facebook group. I think I started it like maybe a week or two ago, so
Oh,
it's very small. I think I
yeah.
got like 10 people in it right now.
Well, we will all head over there after this, and you will have at least 10 more. How's that?
There you go.
That's why
But
I
yeah,
encourage to, whenever I do a tutorial or a craft along, whatever you make, put it up on there. Alexa, stop. I said, put it up on there. And that way we know who's making it, we know who's sharing, and it's growing the community. Plus, you're
yeah,
getting the Facebook people there. So whenever I have a scheduled live, I put it up on my Facebook. Hey, join me tonight with a link. So that
yeah.
so I do have to cut it a little short today. So I'm going to finish with one good question. I have to go. My daughter's got a plumber coming, and I have to be to her house by 10, and it's a half hour to get there. So I have to drive like a maniac, first of all. But what did
Yeah.
you give to somebody who wants to do a channel and they're just afraid? They're afraid. They don't want to hit that button. They don't want to go live. What would you what would you suggest? What do you say to them?
I guess I would say just do it. I guess one thing I always say, at least to my kids, is, and I try to live by this too, just try it. You know, the worst that happens is you start back at square one, or you start over. Like, you're gonna be no worse off having tried it than not having. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still gonna be in the same spot, same person. Like,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I don't know.
That's great.
I'm having fun doing it,
Me
so
too. Me too. And the people I've met, are you kidding me? And I have never met them face to face, but I consider them my friends. Like
right.
I start my day every day with these wonderful people, and I'm so lucky. And it's such a great experience. So I agree with you. There's two theories in my life. One, just try it, and two, just ask. The worst they can say is no, right?
Yep.
Just do it.
Yep. I mean, and if it gets to be too much, if they do start the channel and it's just too much, you can just pull back a little bit or just not do it. I mean, if
Exactly.
it's not fun for you, don't do it.
Right. Exactly. Life's too short. That's why I retired. Life's too. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. This has been so amazing. What I'm going to do is I will find your Facebook page. I will link everything in the description to this. I'll also put it up on my community tab. Um, that's the Facebook. Oh, you guys put it up. Marianne, did you put
Yeah,
the?
it looks like Marianne was getting it. Yeah, it's just my channel name, Jaibees Crochet, Amber or something like that.
I will link it to.
Nothing special.
Thank you so much. This was a blast. This was.
Yeah.
It's fun having somebody here to talk with and to share stories with. So I really appreciate you being here and being my guinea pig. Thank you so
Well, I'm
much.
glad I could be your first.
It was awesome. Everybody, remember, check out JB's channel and her Facebook page. And Amber, I consider you a friend. Thank you so much. Um,
Same back at you.
and I will make sure everybody throws some yarn in your window, shows you a little bit of love. And I will link your channel to everything I can. All right.
Awesome, I appreciate it so much. And I
Thank you.
did I did shout you out last night. I don't know if anybody came in. They
Thank,
went really long last night, so
thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So remember, everybody, be happy, be kind, and be creative. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Amber. Bye,
yep,
guys.
thanks.